From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It's Friday. I'm in LA, and the weather is beautiful. It is banging, and we just living life, feeling good, feeling great. I'm 10 days away from turning 37, so, hey, it is what it is. Not 10 days, but it'll be coming up in about 9 days or so. But I ain't the one to be over here talking about it's my birthday month and all that good stuff. So just pretty much just getting you guys on the lookout because we might be doing something a little wavy very, very soon. So pretty much let's go ahead and jump into it. The Bears can't fail again at drafting a quarterback. See, this time around, the Bears are in position to go ahead and get themselves a nice quarterback. It looks like they possibly can go ahead and get Mac Jones here because the San Francisco 49ers have kind of fell out of favor about picking him and everything like that. I think that was just a quick little dream and everything that they had. Not a quick little dream, but just some of a thought. That's what people have to understand. These teams are never going to show their hand unless they got the first pick in the draft, honestly. And Chicago, knowing the way that they get down about draft picks and stuff like that, Chicago's probably going to go after a bigger need, like maybe a lineman, a defensive lineman, some corner or something of that nature that fits their team perfectly, because I think they're willing to go ahead and just say, okay, Andy Dalton, go ahead and lead us to victory, because that's exactly what the Bears do. They always try to get a wily vet, a good veteran, and then they try to draft a quarterback somewhere in the middle rounds to go ahead and be the backup. But I think this time around they have to go after a first round graded quarterback, or a quarterback that might have a high second round grade, and just go ahead and jump on them early so they don't miss out on that player. Because the thing is, the Bears need to develop a quarterback for the franchise. And I thought that maybe they were going to go ahead and give Mitch Trubisky a shot. The Bears hadn't scored 30 points in 4 straight games in 70 years. And Mitch Trubisky did that to lead them to the playoffs. And they still literally just sent the guy to Buffalo and said, bye-bye, just because the fans don't like you. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. If you want to win, you got to support what your coaches are doing. You got to support what the team is doing, and you got to have patience with these guys as well too. Everybody wants a Patrick Mahomes, but the world don't work like that. But we'll see how it goes. The Bears have to draft the quarterback so then they can change the fortunes of their franchise, or at least have a consistent player at that position instead of always playing this whole in and out. Brand new quarterback here. And, they still over there mad about Jay Cutler not, performing the way that they wanted him to. But he did get him to a championship game, and it's the most relevant thing the Bears have done in the last 10 years. So it is what it is. All right, let's move on and talk about the draft a little bit. JaMarr Chase, is he the best wide receiver in the draft? JaMarr Chase put on an absolute clinic in the national championship in 2019 season as well, too. So pretty much JaMarr Chase went ahead and sat out last year to go ahead and be ready for the draft. And JaMarr Chase is a very, very high end player, high wire player, in my opinion. I think that he will be able to make the impact right away in the NFL. But I know why he's getting a lot of this hype is because he went to LSU, and there's 2 guys that play on the Browns that are 2 very significant, very well-rounded receivers in OBJ and Juice Landry. So pretty much the LSU wide receiver has become a hot commodity in the NFL, and they got to take these guys at the top 15 how they feel right now. But Jefferson had a hell of a season last year for Minnesota as well. So there's a lot of things that they're looking at right now to make JaMarr Chase the number 1 receiver off the board, and rightfully so. And if he would have played, he possibly could have won the Heisman this year with the way that Devonta Freeman won the Heisman this year as well too. So Devonta Smith, I'm so sorry. So pretty much this guy right here does present a guy who can change your fortunes on a team, and they have him going as high as 6 in this draft as well. So I like what I see here with JaMarr Chase. I think that he'll be one of those impact players, and I think he's a guy that you can trust in fantasy football moving forward this season as well too. So mark him down as one of your rookies if you want to go ahead and throw him on your team. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Lakers. The Lakers played the Celtics last night, and it was a good game. The Lakers tried. They fought. They were down 14 at the half, but they fought back. Even the crowd got right behind them and was loving every minute of it. But the thing is, though, they did not have top players last night. Keith was out last night. Drummond was out last night as well, too. And the Lakers, 34-22 right now. A lot of people feel like the Lakers are slipping, but they're not slipping. This is the thing. A lot of the teams ahead of them are winning right now because they're at full strength. But say in a week or so, somebody might have another guy go out with an ankle injury at the top. Look at what happened to Denver. They just lost their best player to a blown ACL. They haven't played they're not playing tough teams right now, so that's why they're able to still win games. But once they go ahead and get into the meat of their schedule here at the end of the season, it's going to be a different result when it comes down to wins and losses for these teams. And the Clippers, they're probably going to rest everybody the last 2 weeks of the season as well too, even though they rest everybody at least once a week. So it's not hard for the Lakers to catch up, and it's not a death sentence for the Lakers to go in as the 5th seed in the playoffs, especially in a position that they're in now, because they're seen as a team with absolutely no stars. They're playing scraper ball right now, to be dead honest with you. And this just shows off the chemistry of the Lakers. And that's why they've been able to still play really good defense throughout this time, because they got one of the best, if not the best defensive coach in the NBA. And then they have guys that just buy into the system, and they have guys that, and I'm going to tell you guys like this is honest too. If you don't play hard for the Lakers, you're not on the Lakers. It's that simple. And LeBron James, that's one thing that I can give him kudos for. Everybody's always saying he's trying to be the coach. Even me sometimes will say, damn, LeBron, you're not the GM, you're not the coach. But the thing is, you are the most powerful voice in the locker room. And if a guy's not playing well, you will let Rob Pelinka. If a guy's not showing up and not doing what he's supposed to do in practice, the coaches will notice that. LeBron, if he notices it, he'll go straight to Rob Pelinka and say, we got to get rid of this guy. I'm serious. He used to do the same thing in Cleveland, did the same thing in Miami as well, too, because you want to bring in players that are going to play, have a good time, have fun. And that's exactly why this Laker team is still winning games against really bad teams in the NBA and still competing against the better teams in the NBA as well, too. With Vogel's coaching prowess, this possibly without the stars could be an eighth-seeded team. Think about that part, because the West isn't as deep as it used to be. The West is really 5 teams now. Everybody else is just fighting for 6 through 8 and fighting to who's going to be drafting early in the lottery. So that's what I see when I see the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference, on the other hand, that is a conference that has a lot of parity to it, except for up at the top. But those teams that are at the bottom still compete very well with those teams at the top. So that's why you guys got to understand the Lakers are fine. They're not in a position to where you're going to say, oh, my goodness, the season's over. We're not going to win a championship. No, you just have to go about it the hard way. It is what it is. We just saw UCLA pull off an amazing feat as an 11 seed and get all the way to the Final Four and be seconds away from beating the undefeated team there as well, too. So the Lakers are an even better team, and you know that the Lakers will probably sweep in the first round. And then they're going to embarrass, if Jazz are sitting there at the first seed, if they have the full unit, they're going to embarrass the Jazz too. And then who do they play in the conference finals? It might be setting up in the correct way for the Lakers right now. Just think about that part. You guys are worried about home games, but don't you have home games at full capacity, and the Lakers play much better on the road. And so that's my 2 cents on that. That's the state of the Lakers. And we got Utah coming up tomorrow night. So that should be a good game for the Lakers to build on. Hopefully Drummond will be in that game as well, too, and we'll just go from there. Now, our player of the night last night was in the Laker game as well, too, and that was Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown needs to get more love, dude. Everybody, they're always talking about Tatum. But the thing is, I think Jaylen Brown is the one that really pushes this boat because he's been there a little bit longer. He was able to contribute right away as a rookie as well, too. But he didn't have to say, give me all the spotlight. My guy pops is Larry Hughes, and I met LeBron when I was a little kid. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's dad was a professional boxer who was 7 feet tall. So, pretty much he knows a lot of people too. He went to Cal, and he's a good basketball player. I really think, honestly, I know a lot of people are going to say, Pop, you don't know what you're talking about. But I actually coached the game of basketball, and I think Jaylen Brown's a better player than Jason Tatum, and he's more valuable in a sense as well, too, because without Brown, Tatum can ball, but then the Celtics, it's hard. You don't see them winning games consistently with him by himself, but you throw in Jaylen Brown, and he gives you that other side, and you guys are averaging 60, 70, 80 points together. That's total domination. That's a great duo right there, but I think Jaylen Brown's the one that pushes it all because he shows us he can do everything and does it really smooth as well, too. So Jaylen Brown, great game last night, 40 points, 3 assists, 9 rebounds. That's the way you go about it, and it is what it is at the end of the day. Great game from Jaylen Brown. He gets his team a big win over the arch rival, the Lakers, and we move forward from there. We got LaMarcus Aldridge. Happy trails, LaMarcus. LaMarcus Aldridge was a kid out of Houston, Texas, and he was one of John Lucas's boys from his academy and everything like that, and he was able to go over and be probably part of the best recruiting class Rick Barnes ever put together at Texas. They fell short in the Elite Eight, losing to Big Baby and crew, the LSU Tigers that year. And pretty much this guy came into the league, was drafted by the Bulls, was traded immediately to the Portland Trail Blazers for the same I can't think of his name right now, but the guy that he was traded for played for LSU as well too. And pretty much that just goes to show you that that there's always different stories in this league. And it always felt like LaMarcus Aldridge was a complete product coming into the NBA because he could shoot from 15 out, things of that nature in a consistent form. And he always played the game very, very efficient. And I felt like he was a poor man's version of Tim Duncan in a sense. He didn't rebound as well as Tim did, but the thing was he could make an impact in a game. And I think his best years were always with the Portland Trail Blazers. And I feel like that they came up short in the LaMarcus Aldridge situation because he ran off to San Antonio to chase championships, but they kind of conned him into coming to San Antonio because all those guys were done by the time he got there. And he didn't look at the future the correct way, in my opinion. He should have stayed with Dame Lillard, so then they could have gave themselves a chance to be in a final. They could have wrecked everything the Warriors were doing if LaMarcus would have just stayed in Portland, but he didn't. So it is what it is at the end of the day. LaMarcus Aldridge will be a guy that will be in the Hall of Fame, but it won't be right away, okay? He's going to have to probably wait 5, 6, 7 years before they put him in the Hall of Fame, but he's going to the Hall of Fame. And LaMarcus Aldridge, you were great. You were fun to watch. You were one of the best players in the NBA for a very long time as well, too, for a good decade. And you are one of the big men that just pretty much helped the game evolve as well too with the outside shot. And with much props to you, much thanks to you, and thank you so much. Happy trails to LaMarcus Aldridge, and I hope your next career is better than your first career. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and check out HatClub.com. You guys can go ahead and get 10% off on any order that's $50 or better. Once again, that's www.hatclub.com. And you guys can get yourself a 10% discount on any order $50 or better. You guys go ahead and press that link in the show description. With that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll Have Another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And let's jump into Blue Crew Daily. We saw the Dodgers notch their 7th win in a row last night with another good win over the Rockies. And now for the season, they are 7-1 against the Rockies. And pretty much the Dodgers are just – they're just something else, man. We were talking about – I was on a show, they had us talking about the Red Sox. I'm like, it doesn't matter what any of these other teams are doing right now. The Dodgers are absolutely just destroying the field right now. Like, yeah, I don't know who really thinks who can beat them at this point. And it's only April. That's what the crazy part about it is to me. And winning 7 in a row, yeah, Urias last night, and everybody, that they're going to show up on Jackie Robinson Day. I think that's always the best day to bet the Dodgers. Even if they're not playing good baseball at the time, bet them on April 15th. They'll show up for you because they're all wearing the number 42 that day. And so, they feel it. And that's why, pretty much the Dodgers came up with the big win, and they continue a very good little march as well, too. They get to go down to San Diego tonight and play against the new arch rival, the Padres, because the Giants are on a little bit of a break right now. So, the team that's going to be competing with you and hating you every single time they play you is going to be the Padres. And I know the Padres have a lot on their mind from last year after getting embarrassed by the Dodgers in the playoff series right before the championship series. So, this is going to be a really good game tonight. And when I look at it, I say to myself that when you put these two teams together, just be prepared for this to become a very, very intriguing matchup every time they face off. And you got Walker Buehler going tonight against a young Ryan Weathers as well. So I would say this, if you're going to be asking me for a bet in this game right here, I would say you should go ahead and scoreboard watch in this spot. And I think that will be the right thing to do because it looks like this game will go under and it has all the feelings of what a pitcher's duel should be. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. But the Dodgers, Padres tonight in San Diego at Petco Park, and it will be the game of the night. So with that, we move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about some MLB games that we're going to have in our Talkin Tickets segment, but we'll first preview these games. We got the Cards at the Phillies. The Cards coming in here as a plus 120 dog. Phillies minus 145 on the money line today, and they are over-under of 8.5 as well, too. You got a good pitching matchup here going with these guys as well, too. You got Zach Eflin pitching for the Phillies today, the home team, and then you have Carlos Martinez pitching for St. Louis, and he's just been struggling a little bit this year. Zach Eflin somewhere in the middle as well. So this game right here is kind of a toss to me, but I think at the end of the day, this will wind up being a pretty good game for bettors, and that's why I went ahead and threw this into the equation. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But Cardinals at the Phillies, it should be a good one. Now, White Sox at the Red Sox, I'm going to just let you guys know right now that game has been postponed due to rain. So for all my Talkin Tickets folks, I'm going to go ahead and adjust that for you. But just know White Sox, Red Sox is off the books today because there is a rain delay. So we'll skip over that game, go right to the Giants at the Marlins. Giants at the Marlins should be a fun game. You got a Giants team coming in here as the favorite, minus 135. Marlins, as usual, a dog, plus 110. So we're going to see how this one goes, see how this one shakes out. But I think San Francisco should have a good shot here. But it's going to be a good game for the Marlins in a sense. I think that their pitcher that they have on the mound is going to be able to do some work today. Yeah, they're 5-7, but I like Daniel Castano coming into this game. I think that he'll be good. He pitched He's only pitched 7 games, 1 and 2, just a spot starter, but they're bringing him in here, and he's supposed to be one of their top end players here from the farm system. So we'll see what Castellano has in store for us tonight. Hopefully, we can go ahead and get a win from the Marlins, because that's what I do have them marked down as the winner for tonight in that game. So we move forward. Let's talk about the Blue Jays and the Royals. And it was funny because they took forever to put the line out. I wanted to talk about this game yesterday. That's why we only had 4 games last night. It was supposed to be 5, but this one right here, the Blue Jays at the Royals. Blue Jays coming in minus 120, and then you got the Royals team as a even money dog tonight. So you look at this one, you say to yourself, okay, Royals, you guys have been playing some really good baseball as of late. You know, you guys won the last 2 out of 3. Again, you guys won 2 in a row against the Angels, who actually came into that series very, very hot after, performing pretty well against the Blue Jays. So I look at this and I think the Royals just keep it rolling. They got their 3rd win in a row last night against the Blue Jays, beating them 7-5. I think they keep that rolling as well. So I'm going to take them with the minus 105 that I have here, because they have been bet up a little bit, but that was the early line plus 100 on the Royals. Now we move forward to a divisional game. This is going to be the Pirates at the Brewers. The Pirates coming in here plus 125. Brewers are minus 150, but I do expect that money line to spike up on the Brewers side and, pretty much get you some more value on the Pirates, because the Pirates are really right now like a AAA team. They did pretty good against San Diego, but they were at home. They don't have much of a crowd there, and they weren't being taken seriously. So once the videotape gets out, the verdict gets out, pretty much this team will be back to being in the basement, worried about getting the first pick in the draft, because it's going to take a while for the Pirates to get back to being relevant. So you got a Brewers team that kind of started off slow, but they're starting to pick it up a little bit right now. I think this should be another good one tonight. I think this would be more of a Brewer. This should be a game where you look at the spread on each side, but we'll see how it goes. The Brewers have a good number on the spread tonight, so that's something to look at as well too. So we move forward and talk about the home team out in Anaheim, the Orange County Boys, the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, going against the Twins. The Twins got a good walk-off win yesterday against the red-hot Red Sox. So they fly all the way to California from Minnesota after a really good game yesterday. And so you expect this team to be a little tired coming into today's game after having such a hard-fought game yesterday. So, the Angels, they had a day off and were able to fly in and get a little comfortable here. And they are playing very good at home as well, too. So you can't look over that fact. So I do like the Angels in this spot tonight as well, too. I think the Angels can take care of business for us. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. And pretty much with that, you guys go ahead and check out Paramount Plus, a very, very fun app. You guys can go ahead and watch all the good classic shows from back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. And then you can watch all the new content that they have there as well, too. And they have some pretty good movies there as well. So you guys check out Paramount Plus and use the promo code VSX. Once again, Paramount Plus, use the promo code VSX, and you guys will be able to get yourself a nice little deal there, paying $9.95 a month. And there it is, Paramount Plus. So with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Eagles Live.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And it is time for the NBA Friday preview, and we have ourselves a good one up here. The game of the night, pretty much, the Clippers at the 76ers. Former Clippers coach Doc Rivers, who's now the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, is looking forward to getting himself some get back against this team tonight as well too. So pretty much when you look at this game, it is a even spot, but I really truly favor the 76ers here. I think the 76ers are playing some really good basketball right now, and people have to respect the fact that this team is pretty much what I feel is the leader in the clubhouse in the East. Everybody's in love with the Nets, but the Nets haven't even played together as a whole unit, I think, at all this year, pretty much. You haven't had a KD, Kyrie, Harden, and Blake all out on the court at the same time. And you see LaMarcus Aldridge just retired as well, too. So when you look at this situation, you tell yourself that this one should be a good one for the 76ers on a measuring to measure where they're at. You know what I mean? So pretty much when I look at this, you got a Sixers team that's played very well at home. They're tough to beat at home. The Clippers, they've been playing a lot of sorry teams lately, like teams that are not good. And that's probably, why they've been able to have such a long streak, because a lot of teams that they played, they're all headed to the lottery. So now they meet up with the 76ers. They have somewhat of a real matchup tonight. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But we got two of the hottest teams in the NBA. Clippers winners of 7 in a row, and the Sixers have won their last 4 out of 5 games as well too. So there it is with that, and we move forward. And let's go ahead and talk about the Hornets and the Nets tonight. The Hornets are actually struggling a bit right now, and so I think that when you get down to business in this game right here, you tell yourself that, all right, we got ourselves a team here that I want to go ahead and back, but the problem is that they're struggling without their best player here. But I think with the fact that they're going to play the Hornets tonight, they always want to step it up when they play against the better teams in the NBA. So I expect the Hornets to be right in the thick of things with this game, and they're trying to hold on to that playoff spot as well too. They're not. You shouldn't work this hard to fall out of the race just because you've lost a few stars. They still have Terry Rozier, who's a high-end player, and they still have a guy that's making his mark right now, especially in the dunking portion of the game, is Miles Bridges. So, don't sleep on what the Hornets can do. They just have to get that spark, and I think that they can go ahead and cover tonight. But I do like what I see here, and we always know the Nets are going to be tough, but the Nets aren't playing great defense either, man. So we'll see how it goes, but there it is. Hornets at the Nets tonight, minus 12.5, favored for the Nets, and a over-under 222.5. All right, we move forward to the Grizzlies and the Bulls. The Grizzlies coming in here as a favorite tonight on the road. The Bulls have been kind of helter-skelter a little bit. They've been a mixed bag. You don't know what Bulls team is going to show up night in and night out. But the Grizzlies have been playing some really good basketball without anybody saying anything. But they've dropped their last 3 out of 5, but they've been competitive in these games as well, too. And in those 2 wins they had in their last 5, they did beat the Bulls by 11 points. So, they look at this one as another game where they can capitalize on a team that's actually kind of fading right now. You have the Bulls who have lost their last 4 out of 5 games. So pretty much this one will be pretty entertaining in a sense. So, I wouldn't say overbet the Grizzlies here, but I would say that maybe you want to scoreboard watch. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes, and we move from there. We got the Blazers and the Spurs tonight, and this is kind of bittersweet because LaMarcus Aldridge retired yesterday, and these are 2 of his former teams right here. And so you got the Blazers and the Spurs hooking up tonight in San Antonio. Spurs are a slight dog tonight. They got a big over-under here at 234.5. The Blazers do need to get a win here because the Blazers are really on the brink right now of, pretty much moving themselves up or maybe fading out of the playoff race if they don't play well in these next 20 games, because about 15 of them are against teams with records that are 500 and above. They've been feasting on bad teams this season. So we're going to have to see how it goes. But the Blazers should be pretty good tonight, but the Spurs are not going to lay down. So once again, this is another game that I feel that you got a scoreboard watch here. So with that, we move forward to the game that I think will be my favorite game of the night. It's going to be the Knicks at the Mavs. You got the Knicks, the former team for Porzingis, who then things didn't end well with Porzingis as well too. And then you got both these teams are red hot over the last week. And you got the Mavs coming off that big win the other night with Luka hitting a buzzer beater. And that built up some confidence because they did drop 2 in a row before that. But all in all, though, before this little stint of these last 5 games, the Mavericks were killing it, and they still are killing it. They're very competitive in all these games. They're not getting blown out. And so pretty much, that gives them the edge tonight. But then you got New York, who's won their last 4 in a row, and they've been impressive winning their last 4 in a row as well, too. And they're playing great defense as a unit, and they just love playing with each other. The chemistry's right there, and the Knicks are doing everything possible to clinch a playoff spot so they can really, really give their fans something to smile about. And I think that's absolutely awesome right now because the Knicks have not given their fans anything to smile at over the last 20 years. All right, so there it is, Knicks and Mavs tonight. I'm going to take the Knicks as my dog of the day with the plus 180. So there it is. Hopefully, Knicks goes ahead and takes care of us tonight in the Big D. All right, so you guys go ahead and check out Fubo TV, 7 days for free on me, and you guys can go ahead and sign up with no credit check, and you guys pay $55 a month for one of the better packages in all of the industry, and you guys get literally every sports channel. You guys will get all the good live TV as well, and then you also get to watch some pretty fun movies on there as well too. So $55 a month, and it's all yours. But if you want to opt out and move on, you guys will not be charged for that. They'll just move on like you move on. All right, so Fubo TV, go check it out. 7 days for free on me. Press the link in the show description. And with that, we will be right back. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing. With daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and we are in the final stretch of the show as well too. So pretty much, let's go ahead and jump into it. Talking tickets, and up first is the MLB PrimeTime PK6, 65-1 over. And first up, we're going to go with the over 8.5 with the Cards and the Phillies, and then we're going to go take the under 9 with the White Sox and the Red Sox. We were going to take it, but as I said before, that game is going to be postponed, so we will replace that game with another over-under that I like a lot as well too. But it is a 65-1 ticket, and hopefully it will stay intact when we go ahead and adjust the ticket. All right, so the Marlins money line today plus 110, like that a lot. Then we got the Royals money line minus 105. So that's 2 home teams for you today. I know I'm usually handing out road teams, but today it's about the home squads because it's Friday night. And, it's always a good night for the family at the ballpark at a home game. And that's kind of like where you want to go. And then you got the -1.5 with the Brewers tonight in a spot against the Pirates. Hopefully they can go ahead and take care of their business for us in that spot. And then we end it all with the Angels with the -135, and hopefully that will go ahead and get us home. Once we make the adjustment, it might not be 65-1, but at this point, if everything holds up, the ticket will be a really nice ticket. Once again, big risk. Small risk, big reward. And you guys already know this came through for us on Tuesday night. So don't sleep on the primetime pick 6. All right, so we move forward to the NBA Super High 5 and in the NBA Super High tonight as well. Then we got the over 220.5 with the Grizzlies and the Bulls, the under 234.5 with the Blazers and the Spurs, and then our dog of the day, the Knicks. Money line +180, and that will be 32-1. You guys can go to UWager where the world bets at, and you guys can use my promo code VSXPOP, and you guys will receive up to 50% on a match deposit. And so if you go ahead and put up 300, they'll match 150 for you, and you'll go ahead and bet that 150 free play and start your sports betting journey today. So go ahead and check that out, VSX POP, so you can go ahead and reap the benefits. All right, that's going to be a wrap on today's show. I want to thank everybody who watched and followed today as well. I want to send a big shout out to my graphics producer as well. And you guys be on the lookout for Horsing Around. We will have that available for you guys Saturday and Sunday. You guys have to remember it is a pre-record as well too, but I can answer questions as the show is on if you have any questions during the show. But I pre-record the show in a sense to make sure that I can answer all those questions for you guys as you know the program is going on as well too. So you guys check that out. It's a kind of a light weekend over at Santa Anita, but it's still going to be a good weekend when it comes to that money. So it is what it is. All right. So pretty much you guys make sure if you want to catch the fight to get the fight app, and you guys can go ahead and download that. There's going to be some great fights going on tomorrow night in Atlanta, and there's also a fun celebrity fight that's going to be going on as well too between two rappers. One named Gonzo, who used to be with Ice Cube back in the day with the group called Caution, and Inglewood's Finest and Mr. Bosco. So pretty much we're going to see how this one goes. They've been going back and forth on the IG, and I think that might be the most anticipated fight of the night. So that's pretty much me going ahead and giving them a free promotion with that one. But you guys make sure to go ahead and get that fight card tomorrow night. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And I look forward to watching Paul and Askren in the main event as well too. So with that, you guys, as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart, not with your hearts. And the movement is moving. And I'm gonna see you guys Monday. Be here back at the big show. Okay. So once again, this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I'm your host, the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.